Hello everyone! Jane Galena here, also known as Airplane Jane. In today's video, we are going to show you the demo from Josh from flowtrade. He is going to walk us through how flowtrade monitors the high frequency trading algo and how you can profit off of it. If you guys are new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. You guys are welcome to definitely shoot me any questions, emails, or comments to jane@cjanetrade.com. But let's go ahead and get into the video and carpe profit with this awesome software.
So this is Josh from flowtrade, which is awesome software. I just started utilizing it myself recently, and for anyone interested in the in using it, I will pop up the link in the chat right now, as well as in the description below. It's already actually in the description if you guys want to check that out.
Cool.
Okay, take it away.
So I'll run through all the features first, and then I'll break down the algo line, which is the main feature and the main benefit. So we have charts. You can run 4 charts, a single chart, whatever you prefer. There's kind of like black box and flow algo. We have option flow that tracks sweeps, blocks, everything. That's upgraded right now. That'll be finished at the end of the week. Then you can also track block trades, dark pool. I know that's something that you guys do a lot of, correct?
Yes, I definitely track the dark pool, and yeah, use it with the dark pool. I love it.
Yep. So then we also have a ton of videos on the different indicators, the different strategy that we do, which is all custom strategy. Those all come with it, along with all the webinars we do weekly. Here's your news source for anything. It gets filtered from fly on the wall, so you can type in a symbol. You can follow that symbol. It'll give you alerts on any recent news that pops up on that. Then that's an affiliate program. So that's the basis of it. We're also doing an upgrade as far as some other features, liquidity tracking, and a bunch of other tools that are around the tape. And that should be done at the end of the week as well. But let's get into the algo. And I don't know how much you've used this yet, but so basically, this is something that I learned from a wealth management guy who'd been managing money for movie stars and popular people in Hollywood for 30 years. And he taught me this. So it's been working for him since the 90s, since there was computerized trading, since there was behaviors to be able to be tracked online. So this is all derived from the tape. It's not an indicator that's made from price, like a moving average or a MACD or anything like that. Has nothing to do with price. It has to do with the quotes and everything that's going on the tape, with dark pool, with burst programs, buy sell programs. So what you're actually seeing is the real action that's happening on the tape. You're not seeing, when we see price, that's getting filtered. When you see the time in sales on most brokers, you're not seeing all the action. So a lot of people get into the software and they want to look at it and they think it's like an indicator, so it gets them confusing. And if you can watch this and understand that you're seeing what's really happening behind the scenes rather than anything else, then it benefits you. So there's multiple ways to use this. One of the ways, I have some images that we'll use, and we'll start with those so that I can break them down early. And you'll have to excuse me, there's some profit screenshots.
No worries.
Yeah?
I do have a question that somebody has asked.
Fire away.
How does it compare to Flow Algo? I don't use Flow Algo. I've never used it, so I couldn't tell you.
So Flow Algo is, they have dark pool and that, but they track options and this right here. So they track the sweeps and the blocks and, people that try to follow option flow money. So that's their feature right here. And then they also have dark pool. Nobody has this out there. There's the guy that taught me how to do this is the only other person that offers this service to anyone, and he charges $800 a month. And I paid $800 a month for 3 years trading and learning this. So nobody else has this side of things. Hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, so this is an example of how we're using this and how we're ahead of everybody else. So here's XLE, and if you guys remember when oil was just getting demolished, um, this line represents the real buying that's happening. So once the programs start buying and the burst programs overtake the selling, this is what you'll see. And that doesn't necessarily reflect on tape because they're always ahead of retail. They're always ahead of the game. When price starts turning and running, they're not starting to buy at that point. They're already positioned. They're already ready to sell to retail. So when we see this and we're tracking this and we start to see divergence, and this is one of the trades off of this, the divergence trade. This is 100% free money every time. So price is declining and the programs are buying. This line right here where the separation and divergence occurred, that point right there, price will trade back to that point 100% of the time. Every single time that happens, the price will return to that. So what we do is once we spot the divergence, then we use technicals, big blocks, dark pool trades, whatever, to find our entry point, and we'll take that trade up to that point. Now, if they continue buying past that entry point, then it's going to continue to push. So as
Really
a
quick,
team,
Josh,
go ahead.
I still see the team and Intel and Tesla and DocuSign charts. I don't.
Oh, it didn't come over it, huh?
Yeah,
So,
I don't think so.
So how do I get that? Let me see here.
You might have selected the window instead of a screen, if that makes sense. To share.
Okay, so your screen sharing, new share.
Yes, Julio, this is real time. Julia was saying, is this real time? I've seen the
Yep.
agency alert, which has something similar. It tracks the buy and sell programs.
What, man, how do I switch that out? Share.
It's not possible to make it a tab, is it? Or if you can shoot it over to me.
Oh yeah, I can do that if you want.
And then I could share it. But then you don't get to see it.
Let me try this.
Yeah.
We'll switch up here and I'll just run through these ones that I have. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm not a Zoom professional.
Neither am I.
Okay, does that show up? Do you see
yes.
XLE?
You got it. Yeah. We see XLE. Perfect.
Okay, so basically that's what I was running through. I'll skim through that again because you probably had no idea what I was talking about. So this line is tracking the buying programs. And like I said, they're going to be ahead. So as everyone's dumping and they're deciding they're going to load up their position, we see them start to buy on this. So what we're looking for is divergence, the price going down, algos are buying it, buying the decline. That point of separation, the divergence, is our target. That's what's going to happen. What's what we're going to trade back to every time. So then we find an entry for it. Now, if they continue to buy, obviously it's going to continue going in that direction. It's a very, very simple setup. So throughout the day, we're alerting divergence on XLE, divergence on NVIDIA, divergence Netflix throughout the day. So the trick is, this is free trade. It's free money. The trick is to find the entry at that point. So it's having good technical analysis, being able to know where the turns are, where things are going to grab support to be able to execute the trade. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So that's a simple setup for that. Let me see. Here's another example. Here's Amazon. We got heavy buying all day long. So any decline that we see in price is an opportunity for us. That's how we view it, rather than somebody's being in a position. So even if I took this position here and this starts to dump on me, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll add to my position because this is 100% coming back to that point of divergence. And if it dumps farther, it's just a bigger opportunity for me.
Got it.
Let's see, what else do we got here?
Someone says, props on the dashboard. It looks like the UNX designer did a great job.
Thank you. And so there's a 15-minute chart setup, which is, this is a 15-minute chart setup, and that's a bigger, longer move. So they're a little trickier to find your entries because that divergence can grow really big and it can get scary if you get in at the wrong time. I've had $100 divergence on Tesla before and had it all trade out. So these 15-minute charts are bigger swing plays and a lot more money. But here's another example of Tesla declining and they're buying it up the whole time. And that was actually $300. So it stopped at 351. They started buying as soon as it was selling around 668. So you can imagine watching this set up and they're buying this whole time this is dumping and you know that it's going to turn around for $300. It's real nice.
Now, do you,
Google.
for
Go
those,
ahead.
yeah, for the bigger time frames, for those swing trades, for example, are you then looking at a 1 minute or 2 minute HF, chart as well for your entry, or are you just going to base it solely off of the 15-minute chart?
No, I absolutely. So all we're doing for the 15-minute chart is obviously realizing that it's a bigger play and it's going to take longer to play out. I still, me personally, have all my tools, all my execution for me is on a 2-minute chart so that I can get precision. We do a lot of multi-timeframe stuff, so I take a lot of 4-hour daily 30-minute indicators and have them laid onto my 1-minute chart. So yeah, it doesn't change the entry or the strategy. It's just letting you know, hey, this is going to be a bigger, longer move. So plan out for a slower turnaround. And so here's an example of a 1-minute chart. As far as the 1-minute chart, those are going to play out the same day, 90% of the time. I've only seen a handful of them play out the next day, and they ended up playing out in pre-market or first thing in the morning. And this is what we do most of the time, is everyone's day trading. We're taking these trades. So here's another example. They're heavy selling all day long. Price starts to move up. We know where it's going, back down to 421. So my entry was a 15-minute top, which is something that we designed, and boom, right off of it, I take that entry, $8, $7 drop.
Very cool. Now, somebody's asking, do you track the iceberg orders as well of the dark pool?
Yes, absolutely. So so nothing's getting iced to us because
is it possible to enlarge the photo a little bit?
This one?
Yeah, we see.
Yeah,
it
let me see.
Like a
Better or no?
better, much better. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, iceberg. Every single thing that hits the tape, we see. So yeah, you don't see iceberg orders or anything like that on any of the brokers, but everything that gets printed on the actual tape, we're tracking.
Got it. And this one, you don't have any sort of volume profile. Someone's saying it's kind of similar to Bookmap, which has the volume profile where you can see it on top of the chart. This is strictly price action and HFT and block, correct?
Yeah, it's behavior, right? So it's not volume. So volume profile is going to let you know, hey, we got a ton of buyers right here. There's a gap right here. There's a ton of buyers here. This has nothing to do with that. This is telling you the behavior of the programs when buying is overtaking the selling, which creates a change of direction. And there's a lot more that goes into it. So this is telling you the direction that things are happening. So not only the divergence trade is our treat, right? It's free money, and when we see that, we take that play. But it's also used to confirm the direction, can stay in a trade longer. If you see the buying, you're getting to resistance points and they're still buying heavy, we're going to hold longer. It's giving you the direction up, down, regardless of the divergence trade. So those are just an added benefit. The other thing is all the patterns, I'm going to switch the screens here.
Yep. And someone's saying, how do you deal with spoofing? Julio,
Quote spoofing is not,
I'm waiting for
quote spoofing has no reflection on the buying or selling that's controlling the direction. Let me switch back to this one. And so when you see, cup and handles, when you see trend lines and you see those different scenarios happen, they form back here first. So another way that we're using it is to be able to track their trend. So I can track the trend here if they're in a channel and know if that channel breaks, that buying session is done for them and whatnot. Also, with higher highs, if the algos come up and they decide, for example, right here on team, if you guys can see, so we get a spike into the high right here, then they turn around and they decide not to make a new high themselves. So that's, I don't have to use price because you don't know what's actually happening on price. When I see this happen in the back end, I know it's done. So they fail to make a new high and to continue to buy, and they start selling off. And you'll see right here a little tiny divergence set up as they're selling this, and it has a little retrace up, boom, it comes back down. The other thing is, this is a great example actually. So you have this, like, this can tell you the direction at any moment. So you have this little selling right here, this divergence, and as soon as that trades out right there, the programs go flat. They don't continue to sell and they start to buy. So that means this is going to reverse. The selling is done. They tapped it out right there. They start to buy. Boom. Easy run up right there. Another $3 gimme.
Now, can you show us, for example, the indexes, how people can very easily sit, wait, and cover their cost in really one trade if they're just patient to watch it?
Absolutely. So as far as indexes, SPY, VIX, what else?
Qs.
Qs. So me personally, I'm not a big index guy. A lot of people are though, but that's another thing. You can simply, a lot of guys in the room will use VIX to tell them the direction. A lot of guys will use SPY, use them both to shift on it. I think I have did that come up on the screen?
Yes.
The image I brought did?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, sweet.
We just needed
So
to.
here's a,
enlarge it, please. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you.
so here's VIX. Obviously, you know how the market goes and controls. Here's VIX dumping for the day right here. They're buying it up though, so what do we know? We know that since they're buying it up, that's probably going to shift SPY to make it go down. They're buying VIX up. So while this price action is happening and people see VIX going down, they're thinking, well, SPY's going up. SPY's going to go up. That's how it works. But actually, we see what's going to happen because they're a step ahead all the time. They're buying it nonstop, so it's going to push up.
Very cool. So you could have potentially bought puts on the SPY, seeing that they're buying it up and dropping the VIX.
Absolutely.
Overnight swing.
Absolutely. Basically, anything that you use, your style of trading or however you trade is going to give you the edge because you're going to actually see what's happening. You can have, the best system in the world, which, I'm biased, but I felt like I did for a long time until I met that guy that showed me this. But really, you're speculating no matter what. Your analysis can be, top notch, but you're speculating if you don't know what happens behind the scenes. This gets you as close to eliminating that and knowing the truth behind everything that you can get without, I guess, insider trading.
For sure. Now, how, for example, does it work with things like Kodak? It might be a lower float and might not have the same amount of volume as the SPY.
Right. So that's a great question. So if there's something with light volume, it can be tricky, right? Because you're going to see the algo line selling and it might be only some shares. So it can get tricky and you have to take that into consideration because the line could turn back around and spike up and it can get real volatile with it on those lower volume. But as far as, low cap, penny stocks, whatever, it's still going to give you the information you need ahead of time. And not always, not always those runners that rip $30, $40, do they start buying ahead of time? Sometimes it's just a squeeze and it's a fluke and they'll just join the party. What it will do though in those scenarios is tell you when you're at the top, like this, and when that craziness is done.
Got it. Okay. That was a question that we had. I'm looking to see if we have, do you guys have any other questions that you would like to see? Now, one thing that I definitely use on it are the block trades and the dark pools. Can you show those?
Yeah, let me show you that feature on here. So we'll go back to that and I'll show you how you can look them up, but you can also click the block trades in the dark pool and they'll come up on your screen to give you your levels, which is a way that a lot of people trade. So as far as the divergence setups, that I was talking about, they'll use those for their entries. So they'll all populate on here. And I'm not sure how you guys use them as far as, probably bullish above, bearish below, just flat out resistance. But right here, they'll print on the screen. They'll give you the most current ones. They'll give you the price and the amount. The other thing you can add to this too is we have a moving average that's helpful for new people because, the algo line can get a little sporadic sometimes. So for these scenarios, when it's bouncing around, it'll smooth it out, so you don't get scared. And then let's go to the block trade section. So here, we're just looking up the blocks. They'll tell you the price, the value, the date, the size of the block. You can filter for regular or dark or all, 500K minimum, 1 million minimum. And that's pretty simple. So it's the same search on the option flow. If I want to look at SPY, it's going to pull up all the strikes. I can filter by highest. I can filter by recent expiry. I can look by just sweeps, just blocks. The update we're doing is we're adding a put to call ratio flow here, and a few other things I forget. And then I'd have to get with Dan because he's been working on this.
Yeah. We have a question here too. Julio is saying, do they have the price levels for the dark pool prints, the size, and the date? So I know, Julio, I can attest to it has the price level and the date, but I do not see the size on there. And I think that'd be an awesome thing to put on the block and dark trades is to have a date feature. So you might be able to say, hey, like February 19th of 2020, all of the dark pool prints that you guys, if you guys have that ability, that'd be a cool upgrade.
On the actual charts?
No, right here where you have that block and dark trade, there to be able to see the date, like a date.
You have the date right here, August 20th, the time, it's on the far right. So right. This is all dated.
Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is if you wanted to look back in the past, potentially.
Got it, search.
You got it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's an easy add. Yeah, we'll add that.
Yeah, cool.
So what would you think is the optimal time that you'd look back to, as far back?
Well, you know what? Now we're back at the highs that we were back at February. So I would want to say, hey, what am I looking at? So maybe a year. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how far back your data goes if you hold on to that data for that long. But looking back at the price level, hey, what potentially searching between a price level and then searching a date.
Perfect. So that's another good point that you brought up. I'm glad too. So this is built for the trader, right? This is not built, we made this to help traders have all their tools in one place and give them an advantage. So we're completely open to adjusting, to changing, taking new features. That's why we're doing an upgrade right now, because a bunch of users made some suggestions that they wanted to see. So it's an open community for ideas and growth. It's a platform for traders, made by traders.
Yeah, and also being able to share the charts. That'd be cool too.
To social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's getting added actually.
Yeah,
it's in the process. Cool. What else?
Very nice. Do you guys have any other questions? Julia, you've had some amazing questions. Do you guys have any other questions that you would like to see? I know he was asking, does it have the dates on it? I know at least for me on the 15-minute chart on the SPY, if you pull that up, please, Josh, you can see that you have your yellow ones that would be the block trades, and then the blue are going to be your dark pool trades. So,
Oh, others. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Regular
Yeah.
will be there, dark, and it gets filtered somewhat like that on the options too.
Yeah. And so you can see those same blue will show up on the chart as a dark pool trade. And then in yellow, if you choose yellow as your color for the regular block trades, then you'll know which is a dark trade and which one is a block trade. And it's cool to see where we are in the SPY and how you can look back and you can see starting on Tuesday, they really started selling as the price was going up. And where did we come back to? That divergence again.
Right.
It came back to that divergence pretty much of where it crossed over and started selling right there.
Yeah, sometimes you see divergence, you see something happening and you're just like, no way, that's not going to drop $30. But it happens.
All right. So any other questions, guys? I'm going to go ahead and also clip out the Zoom portion so you guys can see it a little bit better. And we'll just have that edited and I'll put it up for you guys if you have any questions. And again, the link, if you guys want to try out FlowTrade, is in the description and also right here in the chat. And so far I've used it, I'd say, since the beginning of the month, and I'm loving it. I'm loving to see the high frequency indications of where they're moving as well as the prints. I thank you so much, Josh.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That you would like to add? I think we went over pretty much everything about it. Oh, you know what? We didn't go over the watch list and the scans. Really.
Oh, you're right. Completely.
Yeah.
So another thing that's being upgraded, right here, your watch list, you can collapse it if you want to take the whole screen up or bring it back out. You just add to it, click on them, filter through it. Then you have scans here. There's about 10 more different scans being added. We have harmonics, we have the Celts and all their time frames. We have a bearish flow, bullish flow, and then cycles, which is a custom indicator by one of our admin, which is very good. But yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. There'll be some scans added to this at the end of the week with the update, and any users that suggest scans or want to build anything, also we take in. There's Elliott Wave Scanner that's getting added at the end of the week too, which is phenomenal. But yeah, pretty basic there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Josh. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me or reach out to Josh and Dan at FlowTrade. I'll put all of the information down below. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing the demo with everybody.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.